Hey guys, welcome to today's live. We will be having with us today an international student who will be sharing her experience here in the United States. For those who were on the live last week when we spoke about uh, being an international student in the United States, you will learn more about that topic this evening. So if you know somebody who's interested, I know a lot of teachers who are here. You have children who might be attending college soon, or you may be in Jamaica and you're interested in studying in the United States. You can learn a lot from today's guest, Vanessa Tucker, who will be sharing her student experience here in the United States. Hey, Stephanie Walker, thanks for joining. I hope you guys will benefit from the information that will be shared today. And if you know of somebody who might benefit, go ahead and share this link so they too can learn from Ms. Tucker when she joins us at 7 as we discuss the experiences of an international student in the United States. We know as most teachers, not all, they come to the United States on the J1 visa. That's the visa that most program sponsors offer. And then there's also the H1B visa that some workplace offer to teachers. But as students, if your child will be studying in the United States, if he or she's on your J2 visa, which is the dependent visa, he or she can study on that visa. But when that expires, they will require them to transfer to the F1 visa. And I've shared several videos on how to obtain the F1 visa to study in the United States. But we have with us today live a guest who will share her experience of teaching here in the United States. I hope this will be beneficial for all. We're going to begin in the next 1 minute. So if you would like, go ahead and share the link so that others who may be interested can join. For those who are on IG, thanks for joining. Facebook, thanks for joining. Wherever you're from, go ahead and put that in the comment section below so we know you're here. Hey, Jessica, good evening. And at the end, as we always do, we will have a question and answer session where if there was something I missed or something you want to clarify, you can put that in the comment section and Ms. Tucker will respond if it's something that she can answer to, if she is knowledgeable about your question. So we're going to begin shortly. But in the meantime, if you did not watch my previous video that was uploaded on Friday that spoke about the 10 best states to teach in the United States, then you need to check that out. I saw a lot of people in the comment section agreeing to some, sharing their experience. If you did not check that out, guys, you are trying to find a state that you would like to get a teaching job, check that video out where we talk about the 10 best states according to salary. And I know you guys love to hear about your money. According to salary, the 10 best states to teach in the United States. If you have not checked that out, you need to check that out when we're finished this live. Hey, Alicia and Sonia. Hey, Debbie. Thanks for joining, guys. At least a long time don't see you over here. Well, better late than never, right? So it's now 7 o'clock. We're going to begin because, as we always say, it's Sunday evening and we have work and school to go tomorrow. So we're going to get straight into it. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a guest today, Vanessa Tucker, who is from Portland, Jamaica, and is a past student from Titchfield High School. Those who know Titchfield High School, if that's the school you attended, I know Titchfield High School is one of these schools in Portland. Go ahead and put your hearts in the comment section. She has worked as a teacher's assistant in Jamaica for 1 year, and she also wanted to attend college back home in Jamaica. However, she attended the Benedict College in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, where she pursued her bachelor's degree in chemistry. I said chemistry. Poor me. So she has also worked at Samsung as well as two pharmaceuticals, Takeda and Merck, during her summer breaks in the USA as interns. Again, I said if you watched the live last week, I did mention if your child is on a student visa, I would encourage them to do summer jobs because they might can be sponsored by those companies after they have graduated. So, Miss Tucker is currently a PhD student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and she's pursuing her doctorate in chemistry on the organic path. In her spare time, she likes to read and make crochet swimsuits. I'm so proud of this child, and I've never met her in person. I know my daughter went to school with Vanessa, and I'm just proud. You know, as Jamaicans, when wherever our children go and they do great things, we are proud of them. And so I feel like a proud mom. Please help me welcome this evening Miss Vanessa Tucker. All right. Hey, Miss Tucker, how are you doing this evening?
Yes, I'm doing fine actually.
Awesome. Good. Good. So, guys, as I mentioned before, she's a F1 student here in the United States, and she's going to be sharing her experience. So, let's get straight into it. We're going to find out from Miss Tucker. I know you said you taught in Jamaica as a teacher's assistant, and you wanted to go to college back there in Jamaica. What hindered you from studying back home?
I would say something that's common to most Jamaicans. Financial constraints hindered me from affording college in Jamaica. So when I finished high school, I did not see my way to college. My family couldn't afford tertiary education in Jamaica, so I felt stuck. I got a job opportunity at a private school, so I was working there as a teacher assistant, helping with PEP, and that's where I spent my first year. But around the last 2 years of high school, so I did sixth form. So when I was in unit 1 and 2, I was introduced to a program, and that kind of changed my life. That program was Passport to College, and that's how my dreams literally became a reality, and I got my first degree.
Wow, wow, wow. So, Passport to College, something that is offered is it just in Portland, in the Portland area? Or
No, so Passport to College is actually a nonprofit organization. It is student led, so meaning scholars that have went through the program and are either in schools or in full-time roles. They sponsor the program and they operate the program. Myself, I serve as one of the administrators of the program as well. So I came up through Passport to College. That is a program that exists for students in Jamaica and I believe throughout the Caribbean diaspora who have excellent academic achievements, but they lack financial support to afford tertiary education. So the program basically help maps them to institution. However, one thing to note, the program is just for STEM, so that is science, technology, engineering, and math students only.
only for the bright people, say it. Only for the bright ones. So,
I will not agree with that one, you know.
science, technology, maths. Okay. So that is what led you to go or come to the United States to teach. All right. Um, I know you said it's a nonprofit organization, so they actually came to the school district. How did you hear about the program? The school is affiliated with them. I want to get that understanding so that if others in Jamaica who are interested in those areas would like to, study abroad, how would they get in touch with this nonprofit organization?
So Passport to College, they have an operating website, passporttocollege.org, I believe. When I'm finished, I can check if that's the correct thing, but Passport to College, it exists. You would submit your application, it is reviewed, you're accepted, you're paired with someone, and they basically walk you through the Passport to College process. One of the other things that you would do SATs. So I did SATs in Jamaica. SAT prep, I believe, happens about 4 times a year in Jamaica. I don't know if the number of times increases. I know one of the testing centers when I was in Jamaica was Campion College. So Campion is a testing center for SAT. You can find out using College Board for SAT schedule dates, when is the last day to pay for the exam, when is the last day you can cancel or change the exam, and you can use Khan Academy to prep for SAT. So I did take the SAT.
So once you sign up with Passport to College, they basically give you a number of things that you need to do then in
Yes,
order.
so they walk you through the process. Then they basically tell you the amount of schools that's available. You apply to those schools, and the schools basically offer you scholarships, and that's how you get in. Of course,
Okay.
that's a synopsis. It's not that easily in nature, but that's a
Right.
synopsis of what is done.
Right. Because my next question would be, how easy or difficult was it to get accepted in the college? Yes, you got accepted through the college, but is it that Passport to College is affiliated with these colleges and working alongside them for these students who are interested in studying abroad?
So Passport to College would have had some communication with the school. However, scholarships are not offered through the organization. It's offered to the institution. So one of the things that I realize that a lot of students that even attempt to study overseas, it's not something that you just submit a form and send it in and they'll pick you. It's not a lottery. So you have to put in the same amount of things that you want to get out. So you have to ensure that you have a well vetted essay. If the school requires an essay, ensure that you have strong recommendations and not just anybody writing a recommendation for you. And so from school to school, it's going to be different. And so you're basically ensuring that you're submitting the best version of yourself through that application,
Yeah.
because that application is essentially what guarantees you a position at that school.
Okay, good. So basically, they're working alongside Passport to College and they'll take it from there. But why did you choose them to major in chemistry? Was there something that led you to that field or?
Sort of. What I would say is my passion. So I grew up in a small family. My mom is visually impaired. My father died from cancer. So I grew up in a space also where in Jamaica, where I'm from at least, for me and my family, it wasn't something that we could go to the doctor each time we were sick. It's something more of traditional approaches, herbal medicines and stuff like that. So I'm always curious on why do when I drink Cersei, for example, the tummy ache goes away? Does the ache actually goes away? Or if I'm sick, does the issue actually cure, or is it hidden and it will reoccur if it's something more dangerous as it progresses? Say, for example, if I took cancer and there was some herbal medicine that worked for cancer, and when I took it my symptoms left, did they actually leave or will they come back? So those are some of the questions that I had. At Titchfield, if anybody have been to Titchfield, you would know that when you pick the sciences at Titchfield, you're exposed to physics, chemistry, and biology. You don't pick which one you want to do. So I was exposed to all of them. And so coming out of high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I am scared of blood and needles, so I know that patient care wasn't for me. So nursing and doctor, though it looked fancy, wasn't for me because I'm scared of those things. I thought I wanted to be a chemical engineer, actually. And when I did my first internship at Samsung, I realized that Samsung engineering was for strong people, and I am weak because I don't do physics. Physics wasn't for me. I passed it, but it wasn't something that fascinated me. It's not something that I would wake up to and be fascinated about, even if I'm getting a lot of money. So I
Yeah.
didn't do engineering. And so the next best thing I did was, what did I do well in Cape? I did well in chemistry compared to the other scientists. So I was like, yeah, it's the best thing I'd do. And then as I did summer internships, it actually confirmed what I liked and my passion, and that drove me to chemistry and now the path that I'm on.
Awesome. Good. All right, we want to talk some more because people who might be interested in coming to study would like to know like the documentations that are necessary. For example, we know you went through Passport to College and then you got the scholarship through Benedict College. But when it was time for you to go to the embassy, what were some of the things you were required to take? I know Benedict could have given you a acceptance letter and an I-20, but did you
Yeah.
still need to take a bank statement? Some of those things I know
Yes.
people are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So when you get accepted, the school would issue, like you mentioned, the I-20 document and an acceptance letter. What you would take to the embassy, if I'm recalling correctly, I took my I-20. I believe I took the offer letter and a bank statement. So usually the bank statement is supposed to be whatever is not, if it's not a full ride scholarships, because some school gives full ride, others don't.
Right.
So that is very important. That you look on what you're expected to pay. So it's usually expected for you to show that you can cover at least the first year or sometimes 4 years. I don't remember how exact the bank statement is supposed to go, but there's usually dependent on the amount of funding that you need. Sometimes the school tell you how much should be on the bank statement, stuff like that. So that's one of the things I know you definitely take a bank statement.
Hmm. So what if you had a full ride scholarship? Then your I-20 would say $0, right?
Yeah, but I believe in that case, at least you show some form of extra funding to show that if in any case you would lose this scholarship, it's form of like a support, I believe. But of course, the balance on that financial document wouldn't be if you had a half a scholarship; it would differ. So I am not sure the detail of that, but I definitely know you need a bank statement. But how much is on it is dependent on the scholarship ratio to what is expected by the school or something like that.
Okay, so you went to the embassy. Now you got your visa approved, and you are going to go to teach in the United States. How did you feel about that, and what steps did you take to make sure you had all that you need when you got here?
Like I said, I came up with an organization, so I definitely had the support. I was excited to study. It was an opportunity not just for me, but for my family and for other students that are probably battling the same issues that I was going through while in high school. Being poor is not fun. I can tell anybody that. Being poor is not fun, and unable to afford your tertiary education is also not fun. Nobody wants to be complete with high school and not knowing what you're going to do next with your life. For me, I know I contemplated being a police officer. I contemplated being in the army or even a part of the Jamaica Fire Brigade because I didn't see my way out. So when I
Right.
got the opportunity to study, I was definitely excited. I was excited to represent not just myself, others who are going through similar situations like me. And I try to encourage others as well, and just to make the best of the opportunity that I'm given.
Yeah. Um. So what was it like once you got to the United States? Were you taken straight to the college, or you were first with the organization, or did it work?
No, you don't work with the organizer. So when I came to the US, here basically I traveled on I believe a Friday. It depends on what the boarding is like. When school starts, each campus will have different requirements in terms of when you can move on, when you can move off. And so I believe I came in too late because my flight was delayed. So if it's delayed and there's no accommodations made for you from the school where you can come in late. You probably have to find a hotel or something. I believe I stayed at a hotel the night before, and then I moved on the following day. You get assigned your room, the regular college move on process protocol. At Benedict, you basically you after a while, you're definitely going to meet with what you call a DSO officer. So that is the officer in charge of all international students, all your documents that goes through them. They sign off on your I-20s and all of those things. So you have to go to them, provide definitely like the packet that they need. So that's usually a signed I-20, what they call your I-94, I believe it's called. It's basically showing proof of your entrance into the US. So like your travel
Hmm.
history documents, you would submit that. So you get what they call a service registration. So it's just some of those college things. Different schools have different processes. So it's just following their onboarding process for international students.
Okay. I know some international, or should I say, some colleges or all of them have an international office where they deal with international
Yeah,
students?
they have to have an international office because internationals studying in the US require specific documentations. As you go on in your college journey, say you're working in the summer, you will need a CPT, and that has to be signed by a DSO officer to be approved to show that you're authorized to work in the United States. When you're finished with college, you would need them also to sign off on what you call the OPT that guarantees you from your major. It depends on what you get to study. If you're a STEM, you get 2 years and an additional STEM extension, so that's 3 years after your degree.
All right. So
So those type of things.
you mentioned the CPT and the OPT. Can you tell us what those mean? What the CPT stand for and how it works?
I think it's the curriculum practical training or something like that. Is the CPT. How it works is basically guarantees you no more than 40 hours a week during when school is not in session, and if school is in session, you would have to work no more than 20 hours a week, and it has to be related. Well, at least for my undergrad, it had to be directly related to your major. So as a chemistry major, the job description had to show that they are hiring chemistry students, and it had to be specific and detailed in like the description of the job, what you're going to do, and it has to show, as a chemistry major, it has to show some data analysis or designing this experiment or something to show that you're utilizing your chemistry skill set for this job. So that's basically what you do. And then OPTs, after you've graduated, you're basically like working experience with a degree, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good. Thanks for that. CPT and OPT. Um, I did mention that it is important for you to do those summer training jobs because at the end you might be offered a job back with these companies. Were you offered any job when you finish your first degree with
Uh,
any of
for
your?
For me, the truth is, when you major in chemistry, a bachelor's of science in chemistry is not really competitive, I would say.
Okay.
It's competitive to some extent. You can get jobs. I've had colleagues or friends that have gotten jobs in industry, but that wasn't something that I wanted for myself so early on in my career. I would say the best transition for sponsorship is after a PhD or after an advanced degree. When you look at some of the job descriptions, it will show you that they are not sponsoring students on like OPT, like if you just have a bachelor's, but if you have a PhD, they're actually sponsoring. So that's something
Okay.
to consider. From major to major, it differs because if you're computer science, then you have chances of sponsorship too. So yeah.
And nursing. And nursing.
Well,
All
I'm
right.
not sure. I don't know much about the nursing part, so I wouldn't mention it because I'm not sure how that works.
All right. So would you encourage other Jamaicans to follow the route that you took? I know somebody's asking how you got your scholarship. She got through a nonprofit organization called Passport to College, who basically is affiliated with Jamaica, different schools there, as well as universities here in college. I don't know. Maybe she can explain that further or in the question and answer section. But would you encourage others to take the route that you took to study here in the United States?
If I said no, then that would have been no. Anybody can take the route that I took. If you have a passion, the truth is, if you are like me and you were financially hindered and you couldn't afford college, it's an opportunity. Take the opportunity. But what I would encourage you to do as you take the opportunity, make the best of it. Ensure that this is something that you want and put in the work. Nothing comes easy in life. So that's what I'd always say to people. Nothing comes easy in life. It's a lot of hard work, sweat, tears, late nights, a lot of giving up and telling yourself that you don't think you can do this, but just pull through and hold on. There is a little light at the end of the tunnel and it gets bigger the closer you get to it. So definitely, if it's something you're passionate about, go for it. The opportunity is not just there for myself. It's not something that was created for me. I didn't create this opportunity. It was made available for me by somebody else. So I'm extending an olive branch. Grab onto it and take the opportunity. If it's something that you want.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you currently are doing your PhD in chemistry. Can you tell us what that transition was like? And did you get another scholarship for your PhD? And how is that going so far?
right. So, PhDs in the US, at least for some program of study, it's sponsored. So there is what you call a fellowship. So you would work as a teacher, as teaching assistant. So you'd be teaching some undergraduate courses, or you're a research assistant. As a first year, I'm a teaching assistant. So backtrack a bit. Applying or my transition, I applied to the schools that I'm interested in. You basically submit the packet, whatever is required, and you get accepted. The transition wasn't bad. Actually, one of the biggest things that I would say to undergraduates, if you end up coming in the US and study, networking is very important. Who you associate with is very important. So connect with as much people that you'd like. And of course, be smart about your connections. Be meaningful about the connections that you're making, ensuring that you're connecting with the people that are in the spaces that you want to be. So that's one of the things I did. I didn't have a chemist in my family to follow. I didn't have any other chemist to directly follow. So what I did, I networked with chemists. So I ensured that I was working in a space where I'm seeing a lot of people in the roles that I want. And so I get to ask them one-on-one questions. I get them to ask, how do I get here? I joined a lot of mentorship programs. That is very important. Mentorship is very important. That's something I felt that I lacked when I was transitioning from high school to college. I had no idea of the world of STEM and how it works and what was there to do. So do those things. That's what I did. I connected with a lot of schools, and then I just applied, got in, picked the one that works for me, and took the program. PhD is hard. I'm being honest. It's hard. It's a lot of work. But it's something that I want, so I put in the work for it. So that's what it is, pretty much.
So if I'm to break it down, it's called teaching fellowship or teaching
Oh,
fellow.
no. You just apply to the PhD program. Each PhD program differs. So not everybody will be a teaching assistant. Each PhD programs, it's different from schools to schools. So the first thing to do is try to find what you want to do. Find the schools that you are interested in applying to. Look at their program. Look how their program works. Because essentially, when you're doing a PhD in, say, chemistry, you're essentially a doctor of philosophy, you're adding to the discipline. So you're doing some research and you're adding to that research. So there's some laboratory aspect associated with it depending on the path you take. Chemistry, you have different forms of chemistry. You have analytical chemistry, you have chemical biology, you have biochemistry, you have physical chemistry, you have organic chemistry. So it depends on the path that you take. And you have computational chemistry. So you don't work in a traditional lab. You sit down around a computer and you do some modeling or whatever it is. So it differs. So it's going into what you want. Say you're interested in biology. What form of biology do you like? Do you like immunology? What exactly do you like? Those are some of the things you consider and you apply. Most of the schools have an application process. When I was leaving college, I was a broke college student, so I couldn't afford application fee, and that's me being truthful. So I couldn't afford the application fee. Each would have been about $100. Through networking, I've managed to get about 10 application. I think seven out of the 10 of them was free. So I applied to the PhD programs. I got accepted. They'll tell you the terms that they are accepting you on, meaning the amount they are giving you in funding and what you have to do for that funding or to maintain that funding and stuff like that. So they'd usually give you that in your acceptance or a follow-up financial aid document.
Awesome. So as an assistant teacher at the university, you're also gaining experience as a teacher.
Yeah, because usually PhDs, students usually go academia where they teach and have labs within universities. So that's something that you get teaching experience as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. All right. So what's your next step after you've completed your PhD? What's your next step?
My next step is I would say I want to be a scientist. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing. I want to be able to give back to people that are probably going through similar situations like myself. I like connecting with myself. I like looking at where I'm coming from and how I can make it better for somebody else. Not necessarily in the direct terms or living the same life that I live, no, but just contributing. I am also a supporter of nation building. So one day I hope to own my own company in Jamaica.
Yeah, awesome. Because I was going to ask, do you see yourself going back to Jamaica to work after your PhD? Or is it that you first want to gain more experience here in the United States?
I would say I'm planning on gaining more experience, probably. Going back home directly after my PhD is currently not in the plan. But I do support nation building. So at some point in my career, if it is even close to retirement, I plan on returning to my home country. But you don't have to be in a place to actually support a place or support the people from a
That's
place.
true. That's true.
I still work with Passport to College, so I still change the lives of a lot of students on a daily basis. So that's giving
Awesome.
back to my community. That's helping some of the students who are looking and saying, what I'm going to do tomorrow. I am finished with school. What my tomorrow looks like. Their tomorrow might be attending a university in the US. So that's something that I do. Nation building is not just going back home and physically doing the thing. You can stay far away and do it just the same. And it's
Awesome.
just as impactful.
Yeah, I see Pretty Jules on IG. Say I like her. All the best. So, so my next thing, and I'm almost finished. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that I did not ask about your entire experience here? Studying in the United States.
It has its highs and lows. So no, I think we covered everything. One of the things that I definitely will say is from place to place it might be different. At Benedict, I kind of had a community, I would say, because Benedict is very diverse. When I attended Benedict, there was about 26, 25 different countries represented. So you get to meet people from all over the world in just 4 years. You get to meet people from different places. You get to interact with them. There was a lot of international students, so it was like, you know, a little mini family away from home, I would
Yeah.
say. So it's unless they
Yeah.
have anything else for me that I probably didn't answer, then no. That's all I had to say.
All right, good. So, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. We're going to take a quick 30-second break while we wait for your questions to come. All right. All right. Let's look in the comments section. So she didn't have to do a master's degree. Jessica is asking.
All right, so in the US, it's not like say Europe or Jamaica where you have to do a master's. In the US, you don't need a master's to do a PhD. Technically, a PhD in the US is about 5 to 6 years, so you're technically doing the same amount of years a master's would take. So some people do masters and then come in, but most US schools take students after their bachelor's, and you spend about 5 to 6 years and you get your PhD. Of course, if some then from program per program it differs. So if you're interested in say obtaining a master's degree, some have applied to PhD programs, get in and do the master's coursework and then master out. Some programs you can't do that because they can sue you and you have to pay back the money. So because that's a way to basically get a master's degree for free. So you just basically have to find your way around. So you can do a master's and then do a PhD, but most times it's harder to go from the master. So like what I've seen most times is students go from bachelor's to PhDs.
Okay.
So that's what I've seen most of, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of new to me also, Jessica, like from a bachelor's to a PhD, but and I guess it's mainly, as you say, in certain field like the sciences, is that correct?
I don't know how it operates for every department, but I know I've seen it a lot in the sciences.
Okay. Wagner's asking, did you have a dorm and a meal plan?
So when I got into Benedict on a full ride. So yes, you do have dorm. So you get dorm. When I say full ride scholarship entails your tuition is covered. Sometimes it covers your books. You have a meal plan. Usually the meal plan is Monday to Fridays on a set 3-meal basis. And then on weekends, it's usually like they'd have 2 meals per day. So they put breakfast and lunch in one. So you have what they call brunch, and then you have dinner. And that is from a perspective of going to Benedict. That's how it was there. And then as a part of your ID, your identification card usually have money on it where you can use in the what you call the food court. So when I just got to Benedict, they had like a Burger King in there. They have a Japanese restaurant there. You have like a milkshake bar. You have different things that you can get a quick meal in case you miss the schedule timing for the cafeteria. Now, what I will say is don't expect any Jamaican food here because the cooking in the caf, that was major readjustment, and that's me being honest. The food is definitely different from what I've seen. I've never seen white chicken till I got to college. So those are some of the things that you're gonna have. You're gonna have culture shock. The food is going to be different. The breakfast is usually good. You'll get pancakes. Well, you'll get continental breakfast, bacon strips. You'd get those type of things. The sausage and stuff like that. That's not something that I was accustomed to in Jamaica, but that was good. You'd get like fruit bowls, yogurt, and stuff like that. But when it came to the dinner, it was a hit and miss for me.
White chicken. It's the white chicken for me. So what's Faye's asking what's the name of the organization? You got the she got the scholarship. Is it a local one?
So Passport to College is a non-profit organization. Trying to pull it up.
And for those who joined late, she's from Portland and she attended Titchfield High School. And I know other students from Titchfield High School also got scholarship through Passport to College, but I'm not really familiar with them either. So if you can, if you find it, you can always put it in the message in the private chat, Vanessa, and I'll just put it there in the chat box.
Yeah, I think the website is down for right now. But there is a website associated with the program. So there's a Passport to College website, but it looks like there's some issues with it. So definitely, I can follow up with you later, and you can definitely mention it. But yes, it's Passport to College, but the website is not on right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I stay away from college food. It's expensive and they give you small portions like you French. I hated it. All right. Is there Go ahead.
When you study, when you have a meal plan, there is no restrictions on the amount of time you can get food at Benedict. So definitely, I think that's a school to school thing. At Benedict, there was definitely no restrictions. One of the things, as long as you get your plate, you can always rejoin the line if it's something that you like and get as much amount as you want, as long as the cafeteria is not closed. So it's not you can eat any amount of food. It's just whether the food tastes good or it's up to your standards. That's another thing.
Okay. So I'm not sure where Wagner went to college, why he had to buy his, or maybe he didn't have a meal plan. All right. Is there any other questions, guys? We're almost at the end. We've answered all the questions. I've learned a lot from Vanessa this evening. I'm sure if others are interested in studying the United States, you can rewatch to find our here if you missed something in the beginning about her process or her experience here and how she got her scholarship to study here in the United States. I am so excited for her and her journey. And just the fact that she's doing chemistry is a big plus for me because science was not my friend when I was going to high school. Still not my friend. So I always look up to people in the sciences because they're brilliant. They're really brilliant. Um, Thank you, Sonia. Guys, if you did not like the live, go ahead and like it. Jessica said this is a new and good info. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jessica. Lillian says, can I have a contact for Vanessa? Lillian. I was a commuter student. Okay, got it. So you didn't live on. I would love to speak with her privately. Okay, if that's something she'd like to do off the live, she'll give it to me and then I'll give it to you. But that's gonna be dependent on her. Is there anybody else who'd like to ask a question? We're gonna be leaving shortly. All right. Again, we're going to take the time to thank Miss Vanessa Tucker for coming to share her experience studying here in the United States. I wish you all the best. I know you're going to be doing great things. I'm not asking, I just know it. And I'm going to wish you all the best for your future endeavors, whatever it is that you seek to achieve. I know you're going to achieve it with your attitude and your mindset. I just know it. I already see it. So again, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for coming to share with us. It's very appreciated, and we will talk to you at a next time. One more question.
Thank you.
Did she go to
Oh yeah.
did, one more question. Give me a minute. Did she go to any college parties or join any Greek like or Greek life organizations?
No, I'm not Greek. I am not affiliated with any Greek life organization. However, I'm a teenager. That's what I'll say. I'm a teenager. I do what teenagers do. I am not
Right.
just the book person. So I go out, I have fun. I will not confirm or deny whether I've been at a party. If you see me, congrats. If you haven't, then I don't know. But that's not something that I'll disclose on a live platform. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I'm
But
not a part of any Greek. I can say
right.
that.
That is just not that's not a part of our culture, Wagner. The I think can you give me some of those? Those are the symbol stuff that the guys usually be in
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
the
I.
fraternities and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not affiliated with any of them, so I speak on none of them.
Yeah. All right. Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, again, good question, Wagner. Thank you very much. Is there any age limit to apply for the scholarship? I guess through Passport to College.
Usually it's after you've finished high school in Jamaica, or at least if you did sixth form, you can apply. That's usually the case.
Oh, so once you're out of high school, then that's it. You cannot.
Yeah, so once you're out of high school, that's usually the case that I've seen.
Okay. Okay. So Teachfield is a science school, so I expected this. One teach them, Cessa. Oh yeah, one teach. Well, thank you again, Vanessa. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's
you
no
next
one teach them says so. It's one teach. It's always one teach. Always.
time. All right. So
All
thanks,
right.
guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.